Greetings! My video this week is going to be pretty short, as I'm spending time preparing for my debate with Godless. This Monday, February 12th at 1 p.m. Eastern, Gret and I are scheduled to discuss the question, how does the existence or non-existence of God affect morality, on the Great Debate channel. The link to Great Debate is below. Anyway, to keep it simple this week, I'm just going to respond to a video by Godless Cranium entitled, Atheists Have No Meaning or Purpose?, in which various atheist YouTubers talk about what specifically gives their lives meaning. I didn't have time to chip in with my personal contribution, so today I'm taking the opportunity to share what I would have said if I'd made the deadline. Enjoy! When I think about what gives my life meaning, my thoughts always lead me back to the birth of my first child. Up to that point, I had always thought that my only true purpose was found in God, in His will for my life, my eternal destiny in Him, and the moral direction He provided. This was so direct, so unambiguous, and it had been drilled into my head for so many years that I simply couldn't think of any other way of deriving an overall purpose for my time on Earth. But let me tell you something. That all changed when my son was born. The moment I laid eyes on that new life, that innocent little bundle of joy who was so tiny, yet so obviously lean and juicy and tender, I suddenly realized how delicious he must be. I could so vividly picture what it would be like to pick him up, set him in a roasting pan, and... Okay, well look, I can guess what you're probably thinking right now, so let me clarify something. No, I never once harmed my child. I mean, no matter how many ways I thought through it, there was just no good way to explain the disappearance of my own child. And his mom would have been so very angry if I ate him. Or even misplaced him.
Where's my baby?
So rest assured, he survived and has grown to be a happy, healthy, stringy, almost entirely inedible teenager. But what I learned in that moment was that if he was delicious, then most other babies must be equally delicious. And that's when I realized that the meaning I had found in a God-centered life was artificial and ultimately empty. I mean, sure, I knew deep down in my heart that God existed. But regardless of whether or not there's a God, we still find our own purpose in how we do or don't react to it, right? And since God no longer fit into my personal sense of purpose, then I decided to reject Him out of the deep-seated depravity of my heart and act like my own God. After all, if there is no God, then babies are just clumps of cells floating on an infinitesimal speck of dust and in a different universe that's going to wind down in the eventual heat death and we'll all be dead anyway. So in the end, none of our actions matter and there's no morality. I liked that idea, because then it would be okay for me to eat babies. Over time, I found others who, like me, have denied God in their hearts because they like eating babies too. These people are called atheists. We meet together and encourage each other to have faith that the universe came from a random explosion like 1 million years ago, and that a tornado can make a car in a junkyard, and that monkeys give birth to humans. Because those are the only alternatives to believing God exists, so believing in them lets us pretend there isn't a God. Thus I've managed to find a sense of purpose outside God, and that's in being able to do whatever I want with no consequences or accountability, especially eating babies.